I would like to introduce myself and my co-host today. So my name is Gregory Makris. I'm a consultant in vascular interventional radiology at Guy's and St Thomas Hospital in London, and I'm also the current chair of the European Trainee Forum. My co-host is Dr. Roberto Cazzato, aka Gigi. Should I call you Prof? Since you're a professor in interventional radiology at the University Hospital of Strasbourg. I think I'm going to call you Prof.
Call me just
now.
Gigi. It's
I
easy.
think I'm going to go you Prof. Gigi from now on. So thanks for Gigi for joining us. Gigi is the incoming chair of the European Trainee Forum, and actually is going to take the lead from September, and we look forward to that. So what is the European Trainee Forum? So we started the European Trainee Forum in 2016. That was the kick. This was when we had the kickoff meeting of the subcommittee. But in reality, the preparation for introducing the Trainee Forum started in 2014. So unofficially, we exist for 5 or 6 years now. Unofficially, for the last 4. It's the European Trainee Forum, or as it's also known, ETF, is basically a community. It's a network within the CIRSE, and it's for trainees. It's from trainees for trainees, basically. Okay, we try to create a platform where trainees from all over Europe, but not only from Europe, but from all over the world, they can come to this platform, they can be part of it, and they can contribute to our specialty. We're very thankful to the CIRSE Executive Board and all the past presidents and the Chief Executive, Mr. Weigel, who gave us the opportunity to start this trainee forum and allow the trainees to have a voice within CIRSE. I think it's very important to give trainees this opportunity to be part of such a great organization like CIRSE. It's not only because interventional radiology, the trainee forum basically represents the future of IR, but also because through this process, through becoming part of the ETF, we hope that we can develop the future leaders of interventional radiology in Europe. And I have to say that personally, I found this very rewarding experience, and I've learned a lot. I've made many good friends through the years, and the great thing is that as we get older, it's great to see how we all evolve and how we all progress in our careers, and hopefully we can as we grow older and more senior in our institutions, we can all contribute and work together to improve the IR training opportunities, because IR training is basically at the core of what we do in the European Trainee Forum. It's one of our main objectives, to make sure that we bring new ideas on the table on how to improve training standards in IR in Europe. And of course, we could talk a lot about that, about the training opportunities in Europe and how things have changed in the landscape in the last few years, but I think we're going to save that for the Cersei 2020 summit, which is in September, where we're going to have extensive conversations about all this and about the recent reports that we have done on this issue. Some of the other objectives around the local and national differences in terms of how IR training is different from country to country, and what we can do to improve the experience that the trainees are getting in those countries, and how we can eventually reach that stage where we have a homogeneous IR training scheme in Europe. I think personally, the way I say it is that training is the foundation of everything, of the specialty. Right? If you have good, solid training, then you can build on that, and then you can hope to attract the best possible talent in the specialty. And of course, you can invest on that talent, and that promises you that the specialty is going to have a bright future. And this is what we're trying to achieve here in very close collaboration with the executive board. So a few more things about the ETF. We started with back in 2016. I still remember the first meeting in Dublin. We were five people around the table from 5 different countries. From that time till today, we managed to grow our family. We're now 26 countries with 29 representatives. So we're pretty much covering the entire Europe. And we select our candidates by asking the National Intervention Radiology Society of each country to nominate one person. So every country can nominate one person. However, from this year, we've changed the rules slightly, and we're asking for the new nominations, we're asking the national societies to nominate 2 people, one guy and one lady IR, so we can increase the diversity within the group. I have to say that women in IR, the vice chair of the trainee committee is Dr. Sara Proto, who is amazing IR in Finland. She's also Italian. She works in Finland, and she has been part of the committee for so long, and she has been very, very instrumental in the work that I've been doing in the ETF. We also have quite a few women other women IRs in the committee, but we are trying to get more and more as we can. There is a chairman and a vice chair in the committee. All the members, every country has 1 vote in the table, and every country from now on is also going to have a substitute member. Okay. We also have affiliated members who don't vote, but they can participate in our committee meetings, like the American Residents and Fellows Society, which is basically the equivalent of the Trainee Forum in Europe, and we have been working with them for a while now. We've made some very good friends from them, and we're learning from them. So hopefully, they're learning something from us as well. And most importantly, we have developed some great friendships there, and we're working together to achieve our goals. Having said that, we also have very close collaborations with other international societies, and I think we try as a group. We try to be very open to everybody who wants to work with us, because we think that we are all working for the same goal. We have nothing separates us. There's no competition between us. We are in this together. And that's why our meetings are open to every non-European international society who wants to attend as an observer. Because I think the diversity that these kind of different opinions bring to the table is something unique, and it's something that we should keep in the committee. So what we do as a committee, over the years we have increased the portfolio of actions that we do as a committee. Within the committee we have a structure, so we have divided the team into 5 different teams. We have a team that works mostly on educational issues around Europe. We have a team that works on public awareness and social media campaigns on internet. We have a team that works on building collaborations with other societies and working on collaborative projects with them. And of course, we have a team that focuses on our affairs with students. So I think that our work on increasing student awareness, medical student awareness, with regard to IR has been very, very important, and something that's very close to my heart as well. I think that raising awareness around interventional radiology in medical schools is of paramount importance. If we cannot have a strong presence in medical schools, and if we cannot inform the medical students of today about what we do and how we can improve patient care, then we cannot attract the best possible talent in the specialty. And this is basically what we want, to attract the best possible candidates. Our specialty is changing, it's changing fast, it's becoming more clinical, more dynamic, more surgical if you want. And the pool of candidates that we are facing from, if you want to put it like this, is also changing. And it's very important to get the right people into the specialty. I think, as I said before, the future of the specialty is very bright, but there are also challenges ahead, and that's why we need dynamic, energetic people who are willing to put the extra time into it to make this work. And that's why Cersei has heavily invested on the Inspire program. And if you haven't visited the website of Cersei, I would definitely, recommend you to. I would definitely suggest you do that. If you just Google Cersei Inspire program, you're gonna go to the Cersei web page, which is specifically for medical students. It's a web page which is full of information about how you can participate into the student conferences, into the main conferences, the Cersei conference that is usually held every September. How you can get even travel grant support to attend this conference without having to pay so much. And of course, how you can useful tips about how you can start your career. Okay, and I think this is very important. I think it's very important to recognize the effort that Cersei is putting into all this. I mean, it's fantastic that during Cersei 2019 in Barcelona, we had more than 400 medical students. More than 300 medical students visiting Barcelona with travel grants provided by Cersei. And these medical students were from all over the world. And I believe they had a great time in Barcelona. So yeah, the student program is, and the student responsibilities that we have as a committee are very, very important for us. And we try the best we can to be approachable. And that's why if you have any questions today, or if you don't want to, if you don't feel comfortable asking questions today, you can always reach through us via our emails or through social media. Don't be afraid to ask. If you're a medical student, you have questions, go to your student IR, your local IR department, find a resident there, ask questions. And if you can't find anyone there, just drop us an email, and we'll find someone who can help you to start to find out more if there are not any local resources available. Moving on. So after medical students, we try as much as we can to support the junior doctors. And when I'm talking about junior doctors, I mean doctors who are have graduated and they're thinking about their future career plans, or people who are in radiology and they're thinking about how to get into an interventional radiology program. And I think that if you have limited experience from IR and you're thinking, is this the right career for me? Is it not? I think coming to a big conference like Cersei in September, I think it's probably a good first step towards that direction. I think it's going to give you a very good idea about what IR is and what kind of procedures we're performing, what's the nature of the job. And there are also many opportunities for you to do that without, as I said, without paying a lot of money. So if you become a junior member of Cersei, you get reduced Congress registration. And if you are a trainee in interventional radiology and you submit an abstract, it's very possible that you can get free registration through the IR trainee support program. So I would definitely urge you to just go to the Cersei website, and it's full of very useful information. There's also a Cersei webpage, a Cersei Facebook page, Cersei Twitter account, and it's full of useful information. And there's also a Cersei dedicated Facebook page for students. So there's something for everybody there. You just have to go there, go online, spend some time, and I'm sure you'll find loads of useful information and videos about what we do and how you can get involved. And of course, as a more senior trainee, as you come towards the end of your career, you might decide that you want to get a more formal accreditation about your skills. And I'm very well aware that not in many countries there's not a formal assessment for IR skills, and there's not a formal accreditation scheme for that. So that's why you have that's why you can choose to take the European Board of Interventional Radiology exam or EBIR exam. Again, if you go to Cersei website, you can find more information about this. And there is also an ETF session that's going to take place on this Sunday, where there's going to be more information about the EBIR session. It's basically a very significant effort from Cersei to standardize the way we examine the IR candidates. Basically a way of Cersei to make sure that we keep an absolute minimum of quality for those people who join the IR community. I think that makes sense. You don't want everybody to be able to join this group of people who perform this kind of procedure unless they have all these the necessary accreditations. And I think the ABIR exam provides you with such an accreditation, which is internationally and almost globally recognized. So yeah, so again, you can find more information about that on Sunday. We'll have another meet and greet session. Dr. Proto and Dr. Tizkari from the ETF Committee will present you about that. I think both of them have sat the exam, and they can give you more information and can answer all your questions. So yeah, as I said, one of the main things that we do in ETF is we look into training, and training is very close to make sure that all European IR trainees get the best possible training that they can. I mean, we're very well aware that, interventional radiology is a young specialty. We're very well aware of the competition, but we're also aware that we have some brilliant people out there, some people who work really hard to get the best possible training for their trainees. And that's why a couple of years ago we decided to do to write a report on the IR training opportunities in Europe, and we published that report a few months ago. You can very easily find that report if you just go to Cersei website, or if you just Google Cersei IR training report. And basically it's quite comprehensive report on how the IR training works in every country. And the bottom line is that there has been a lot of progress. Okay, I mean, there has been a lot of progress in terms of how IR is recognized as a subspecialty, how training has changed over the years with more dedicated fellowships available, with more accreditation schemes available like the EBIR. But we also realize that there's still quite a lot of heterogeneity in Europe. And as you can see from this graph, even in terms of how long does it take to become an IR consultant or attending, or whatever you want to call it, it varies quite a lot in Europe. And for me personally, I think that this is something that we need to work on. I mean, as you can see, in some countries it takes a year. In some other countries, it might take 3 years. So, for example, in the UK, you need a minimum of 2 years of IR. whereas when the official pathway in the UK is 3 years of diagnostic radiology and 3 years of intervention. That's the official pathway. But you can still get away with 3 years of diagnostic and 2 years of intervention radiology. However, there are still many countries where you can do just like 5 years of diagnostic and 1 year of IR and so on. So I think there's a lot of discussion, a lot of thinking we have to do in the future to see how we can reach a consensus about what's the minimum necessary training for someone to be a safe operator as an IR. And I think that's very important because on the one hand, we need to protect our specialty from people who don't have the necessary skills and who might be dangerous for patients. And of course, on the other hand, we need to make sure that we all understand the importance of this, and we all understand that it's necessary to have solid training that incorporates clinical training as well as technical training, because as we said, interventional radiology is changing. It's becoming more clinical, more surgical, and of course the diagnostic component is absolutely very, very important. And there's no doubt about the fact that you have to become a good diagnostic radiologist first before you can do interventional radiology. So there is a balance. There's a balance, but there is no doubt that you need both of these elements to become successful at what you do. Anyway, I don't want to talk more about that. I mean, you feel free to have a look at the report. I would like to thank Cersei again for allowing us the resources to do this report. I think it's very important to do this kind of reports. I think it was the first time that something like this was done, and it's very important to give us an idea about what's the baseline at the moment. Hopefully, in 5-10 years from now, we can repeat the same. We can write another report and hopefully see that things are improving. We're all moving towards the same direction when we're all on the same page. Reduce Congress fees, as we said, or even, certainly, I think, especially if you're a junior radiologist or a junior IR fellow, there are so many useful resources, teaching that you can get from the Cersei library. And, it's surprising how much you can learn from them, and at your own pace, at your home, without having to depend on anybody. So you just basically, if you're a member, you can just go to the CIRSE library and you can have access to an amazing selection of presentations from past CIRSEs conferences, ECIO conferences, embolotherapy conferences. Literally, there's tons of information there and tons of educational material there that you can use for your benefit. And of course, we have Cersei recently introduced the Cersei Academy, which is a more focused and more tailored approach to learning, with dedicated teaching packages for specific topics, like, for example, prostate embolization or testicular vein embolization or interventional oncology. And you can find these packages on Cersei Academy. So feel free to browse. Make sure if you're already a member, don't miss out on this opportunity to get all this extra training. And of course, ECI, I'm sure you are all aware of the ESI ER courses. These are before the COVID crisis. The ESR courses are courses that are 2 or 3 days usually. They're held all over Europe, and they're focusing on peripheral arterial disease, prostate embolization, interventional oncology, ablation, and so on. And these courses are dedicated to more senior IR trainees and junior IR consultants. And as a junior member, you can get reduced fees and reduced registration for them. So I've been to a few of them, and I have to say the quality of them is amazing. I think this is me. I would definitely invite you to attend the Cersei 2020 online summit. I think it's going to be unique. I think for all of us, it's going to be a very new experience. But I really think that we're going to make the most out of it. And as Gigi is going to tell you, there are many interesting discussions and presentations that we have prepared for you. Okay, Gigi, all yours now.
Concerning the CIRSE 2020, unfortunately, it will be online for the first time. So we hope that this experience, which has no precedent in the past, will work as we wish. And as the European Training Forum, we have thought to propose many different sessions entirely dedicated to the trainees in order to allow them to have a wide perspective on the future of their career. But next to this kind of sessions entirely dedicated to young trainees, we have all the other classic scientific session and fundamental courses where you can get the basic knowledge and the advanced knowledge currently going on in interventional radiology. You may learn a lot about new devices with many workshops ongoing and dedicated to specific new devices. So if you want, you will have the chance to touch some simulators, to work with some simulators. So basically, this is the house. CIRSE Summit is the house where really you can get all the kind of knowledge and of experience that you want to get in interventional radiology. And if we go on with the sessions dedicated to the IR trainees, Greg, please. Yes, you can see easily that what we try to do is to keep a very practical approach. So what we would like to do is to make trainees really aware of what will their career look like in the near future, as well as we would like to make them aware of all the different challenges that will be likely to face in the near future. So as you see, we have in each day of the summit, we have one session dedicated to the trainees. And so we start the first day with one session dedicated to how to build the career and how to build an academic career in IR. So here you have all the different stuff regarding how to write scientific papers, the ABR exam, which is really important to us, as Greg has shown us before. And so we start with this first session. The second day, we will move to the future of IR technologies. And we will think that artificial intelligence, big data, and all this kind of stuff, machine learning, will make a great change in our career, in our field in the near future. So we think that new guys should be aware of what this kind of technology may shape in the near future of their life. Then we will move on clinical practice abroad. So what is like, for example, to train or to work in intervention as an interventional radiologist, but outside the classic hospital environment. So for example, how it is like to work in a lab, or how it is like to work in a private clinic. So we would try also to give another overview regarding unusual, let's say, careers that can be started and can be run as interventional radiologists, but outside the classical hospital. And then in the last day, we will try to give an overview about guys who would like to start or to improve in their career as interventional radiologists, moving more on the management. So we will try to figure out, for example, if it's interesting or not to run an MBA, which gives you probably some kind of knowledge about management, because as interventional radiologists, we are becoming more and more clinical doctors. So probably in the near future, we will be likely the responsible for a department with inpatient admission, overnight admission of patients. So we will probably be likely it will be likely that we need to take care of management and of administration. So, for example, this kind of stuff needs probably to be discussed by the young generations, because in the near future, we think that a dramatic change will occur also in this aspect.
What do you think is the main benefit of having this kind of trainee society, trainee committees at a national and international level? Because I mean, we're in the process of trying to encourage people to get more involved in this kind of trainee societies at a national level. So do you think that this is something that it's worthwhile doing?
Yeah. First of all, I would say that we have a tremendous need in the medical faculties and to speak about interventional radiology, because basically our recruitment will come from there. And so if we don't promote locally an interventional culture, of course, our recruitment will be somehow reduced. So we need to make people aware, because many people, even young people, are not aware. I think, for example, my personal experience, I finished my medical schools 10 years ago, and I reached the six years of medicine, and I was not aware of the existence of interventional radiology. So I came across by chance on it, and then I decided to take a career in this field. So I think that's the most important thing to promote local national committees is just to increase the knowledge, the basic knowledge of interventional radiology among trainees and people and medical students, in order to make them aware of this possibility. And then this will, of course, increase the number of people, the number of talents coming in our family, work in our family, because the future for us is bright. Medicine is moving towards a minimally invasive approach. So for sure, our role will increase tremendously in the near future. So for sure, we need more people working with us in our field. And so the promotion at the national level of this culture is of paramount importance in order to allow people to come. So personally in France, I have started with few guys, with few residents. So we have started to run some local, small presentations about focused interventional topics. And we started with 5 guys before the COVID. Then we had the chance to do another one, the last summit at the end of just before the COVID crisis. And from the first to the second summit, we have doubled the number of residents, students taking part. So it means that once you start, things are contagious and people really like, and the results are immediately available, and everybody's aware of the amazing results quite soon. So I think that we need to promote this, and we need to continue in this way. This is really important, and the ETF basically tries to do this kind of work at a European level. So the goal is the same; it changes just the scale at which we work.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. I think it is very important to get involved as early as you can, and so that this kind of commitment. I mean, very often I get medical students or junior doctors who are asking me, how I can get involved, how I can get started in IR, and I think it's usually not that difficult. I mean, obviously the first step is always to go to your local IR department, try to maybe arrange a taster week, spend some time with the local interventional radiologist, see what they do, see what they're like, see what their life is like, and see if this is for you. It's a very friendly specialty. Most of us, most of the people that I know, most of the consultants that I know, they're very, very friendly, very happy to take people on board. But of course, you have to be patient. You have to make yourself available, because we are busy. There are emergencies sometimes that come in. There are days that are more busy than others, and you have to allow for that. So visit your IR department, find someone have a chat with them, say that you're interested, try to arrange a few days so you can go and spend some time with them and see what it is like. Then the next step is to try to get involved within your national IR society. So in most European countries, there is a national intervention radiology society. Try to see how you can get involved. You can be a junior member, and you can take it from there. You might be able to go to the national conference that they organize. You might be able to make some connections through that. And in general, it's good to talk to people. Don't just stay at the back in silence. I mean, it's always good. Networking is very important in what we do, and that's why I think it's so important to have this trainee IR societies, because once you get involved, it's easier to get involved in them, and it's a training opportunity as well, because you're learning how to be a team player. You're learning how to communicate with other people. You're learning how to become a leader, and you can cultivate these qualities. And then I'm sure that the society, the general society, the national society, then can benefit from that. And this is what we're trying to do in the ETF, of course. And then another way of getting more involved is surprisingly social media. So social media have changed the way we're communicating with each other, and and your involvement in IR is not an exception. I mean, Facebook, there are so many groups for interventional radiology. Some of them are national, some of them are international, and of course, Twitter actually seems to be the most probably the most useful place now to engage with people when it comes to IR. It's the last 3-4 years Twitter in IR has exploded really, and it's amazing how many times I've been to a conference and I'm like, oh hey, I know you, we are Twitter friends, and you're like, yeah, we talk to Twitter, and it's a good from a social point of view, but it's also very good because there's a lot of educational component on Twitter. There are many people who are looking for medical students or junior docs to be involved in project, so you can approach them through that. And of course, it's good to get a flavor of what IR is like. You'd be surprised how many cases are uploaded every day on Twitter, and you can actually learn from that quite a lot. So there are ways. There are ways to do that. You just need a step-by-step approach, and you need to be a bit patient. But most importantly, you need to be open, and you need to be proactive. I think being proactive is very important. Don't just wait for people to come and tell you, oh, do you want to find out about this? You should go to those people and ask them. So I think I want to see if there are any more questions.
We have a question for you, Greg.
Huh?
We have a question for you from Cosmin from Romania. Yeah. He or she, I don't know, would like to know whether it's easy or hard to get an ER fellowship in the UK after graduating in Romania. So could you please give him or her your advice?
Yeah, of course. So I think it is possible. But you would probably have to. So in the UK, we have the official 3-year IR fellowship program, which is for people who start radiology training from year 1. So they do year 1, year 2, year 3, and then they do another 3 years of the IR fellowship. But there are also standalone fellowships that are usually 1 year. Okay. And probably these kind of fellowships are the fellowships that are more open to international graduates. Of course, having said that, it's also beneficial if you have the FRCR, if you can take the FRCR exam and you can pass it, because it's obviously a competitive process. Okay? So there's an interview. It's based on your CV in the interview. So if you have passed the FRCR, it shows that you have a minimum. You're accredited, and people will probably feel comfortable to hire you in their hospital. But I know people who have done fellowships without FRCR. It's if you're from a European country, it's possible. Now with Brexit, things will probably change, and probably the fellowships will be more available to non-European countries as well. So I think the best thing to do is to just go to the NHS jobs website, and this is where you can find, because all these jobs are being advertised online. So you can go there and you can search for interventional radiology fellowship jobs, and you can see what are the eligibility criteria. You can find contact details of the people who are responsible for these job offers, and you can contact them directly. I have to say that every place is different. So some places might prefer to get local candidates. Some places might be more open to international candidates. But again, it always depends on competition. And so if you have an amazing CV and you show real dedication to IR, I can't say why you wouldn't be employed. Of course, you also have to be open to come to the UK a bit earlier, maybe for 3-4 months, maybe 6 month time to get to an observership, or spend some time as in an unpaid position, just to get people to know you. So for example, I'm Greek, so when I came to the UK, this is what I had to do. I had to start with I had to do a PhD, built on my CV a bit, and then I applied for a radiology job. So you have to be, you have to prepare. It takes a bit of preparation for sure if you're an international graduate, but it's definitely something that can be achieved. I mean, I have many friends in London who are international graduates who came to the UK and did a fellowship here. I hope that during the CIRSE, I'm not sure if I think during the CIRSE summit, we might have a few talks about international mobility, or we can talk a bit more about that during those talks. Any other questions?
For the moment, in the chat, we have no other questions, but okay. I can add to what you had said that I also moved to France after my medical school and my residency in Italy. So I just came to France for the fellowship, and then I remained here. So the most important thing is to be open-minded, ready to face challenges, because apart from job, when you move abroad, of course, you have several different challenges that you need to face. Our friend Andras now is in the United States, I think. So also his experience is valuable in this sense. And so you need just to be open-minded to face all the different kind of challenges that you may face, not only in the job, but also in your personal life. So you need to think about all these kind of passages before moving.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can always, we live in such a connected environment now, such a connected world. I mean, there are very few people you cannot reach on LinkedIn or Twitter or via email. So, just find the place that you're interested in, just do a bit of research, find who are the people there, who are the guys there, and just send them a message, say, this is who I am, and blah, blah, this is my CV, I'm interested in doing this and that. And of course you have to be patient again, okay, because, we get quite a few emails like that. So we might not be able to answer this email like on the day, but, you might have to remind them. But it's, I think if you are willing to visit the department, spend some time there, so they get the opportunity to meet you. I think you have a very good chance to find a fellowship. And UK is a good place to do that. But as Gigi can say, I mean, France is a very good place. There's many great places in Germany, Sweden. So yeah, I mean, one of the things that we do as a committee is trying to help people, find a destination, and I mean, within our capabilities, of course. So we sometimes we can use our network to help people to find the best possible place for them. Of course, this is not a formal process at the moment. We're working on it to make it a bit formalized, but this is going to take a bit of time. but yeah, feel free to drop us a message, and we can see how we can help.
Yeah, for the moment we have an informal way. Basically, if you ask us to find a network, to look for a network, we can look for. But we are trying with Luka Novosel, who is the ETF member from Croatia, to establish an accredited CIRSE list of centers in each country, being ready to get medical students for stages, so for short stages. So we are trying also to to reproduce this kind of idea of the fellowship for the trainees, also for the medical students at the end of the medical school, for in order to get the possibility to perform as short stages abroad, in order to see how interventional radiology look like abroad. So we are trying also to move this kind of collaboration and of exchange at the lower step of the medical students. So we strongly believe that exchanges, especially across Europe, are valuable and will provide an added value to interventional radiology in the near future.
Absolutely. So I think we're running out of time. I would like to again thank Gigi for joining us, and of course Cersei and Romana for their very kind help in organizing this. So enjoy your Friday, have a lovely weekend, and don't forget our second session on Sunday on ABIR and the IR gender gap issue. Thank you very much. Take care.
And stay interventional.
Stay interventional, absolutely.